What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Therapist Logan Reacts. Today we are doing a song by the artist that we kind of reacted to last week. It was a song by Token featuring Ren. Shout out to Renegades for putting me on to not only a lot of Ren songs, but the song by Token as well. It's a fire song, and so I actually heard a lot of things about this song as well. So I wanted to do a reaction to this video as well. So let's jump right into it. This song is Not Supposed to Be Here by Token. Let's get into it.
Too different. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. At 13, I joined Cyphers in Boston. I took the train. My first time out the North Shore before touring to fame. Surrounded by these black and Spanish dudes, mid or late 20s. They could tell I lived a sheltered life, they still chose to respect me. I was timid, they were braver. I was spit, but they were better. Talking about much realer things, dead friends and gang pressure. I would just rap about rapping, but they still were never haters. Hugging my mom when they met her, told her son's gonna be major. My dad wasn't the bravest, so I looked up to those dudes as real men, my motivation. We're more talented than me, they set the bar that I was chasing. Fast forward, I'm the only one who made it. Now I'm not supposed to be here.
Okay. So it sounds like he's talking about a lot of components that are kind of reflecting on his confidence or who he believes his identity to be. He talks about kind of joining this Cypress or which seems to be like kind of either like a rap group of some sort. I don't really know. I could be wrong. I don't really know too much about that. But he talked about how he would kind of rap about rapping, and he really didn't have a lot of substance. But the individuals he was around were talking about like the gang life or just things being around kind of real stuff. You know what I mean? Like real things. And Token kind of seems to feel ostracized by that. However, on the flip side, he's recognizing that he's kind of seeing momentum with his self, and he feels as though he's very undeserving almost. It's not so much like I shouldn't be confident or proud of myself. It seems like just like this very undeserving tone, and that's really like kind of reflective of him. Again, it's really just him reflecting on a lot of stuff, like how he believes his current situation, his current dynamics to really be aligned with how he wants to be and the people around him. So it seems like he's really reflecting on this right now. So I'm curious to kind of see how the rest of the song will go.
My neighbors drive a Tesla, young daughter in the backseat. Get mad when I whip fast down the cul-de-sac, happy. My other neighbors are an older couple, maybe 60s. Probably worked their whole life to get that house and drive that Bentley. 4 levels, big door, long tall stairs. On the other side, there's a crib like theirs. 3 young kids, early 20s, no parents. Every Friday night, 8 other cars are next to theirs. And I wonder what they think. Do they even know there's just that one kid paying for it? The 2 others are his bros, getting used to a lifestyle they may never reach alone. They think that I'm doing them a favor, but I don't know. What happens when I wanna move or wanna be alone? Am I selfish? Do I trick my friends with life that ain't their own? 5-star meals, cleaning ladies are their norm. I love my fucking dogs, I'd do anything for them. I wanna take them with me everywhere, that's what I do it for. But all they gon' resent me if one day I cannot do it no more. Feel like I'm tricking fate and all these blessings might disguise a spoiled kid with homies. I gotta remind that we not supposed to be here.
Okay. So again, really reflecting on is what he has, is he deserving of it? That seems to be like the biggest theme here. And he points out some really good topics too, like being in a different environment where he kind of maybe grew up in or thing, and still being that same person from that old environment. It's like he picked up and replaced, and still feeling like he doesn't belong. Again, that ostracization, that the isolation feeling that it kind of comes along with it. But he also talks about his 2 homies, and this is where I've seen a lot more dynamics that are pretty common with certain individuals that kind of remind me of Token, and a lot of it's like self-sacrificing. He talks about how he am I doing something wrong? Am I tricking fate because these two individuals I'm bringing along for the ride, this fame, fortune, notoriety, everything that I'm kind of going through, everything that he's going through, he's bringing his two best homies, dogs, whatever you want to call them. And is he tricking them that like this is their norm? Are they going to resent him if he ends up wanting to change or make a decision in his life? And it may be questioning Token's philosophy as if, like, am I doing this for me anymore? When will I know? What's the line of me doing it for me versus doing it for them? And that can be really difficult, like that. It's got to be really difficult being in like a place of like fame, and kind of having to set that boundary and really, you know what I mean? Like that's got to be extremely difficult. Like, it makes me think. So I grew up with Saquon Barkley, the running back for the Eagles. They just won the Super Bowl, and very much on my mind listening to these things and just kind of thinking about him because he was just a genuinely nice human. That's like one of the nicest people you'd ever meet, just all around. I mean, you see his interviews and stuff, but like that's literally him to a core. Like if you watched anything with it, like I know it's sometimes like, oh, is he just putting on a facade? Like, no, that's just Saquon to his core. And I always just wonder, like, he was always in it for others and fighting for others. And I just hope that he was able to find that peace, that solace to kind of be able to set those boundaries. If like at work, I always just think about him and kind of just being overly empathetic. It's just, I was really just kind of hoping that he was able to find that. I don't really converse with him anymore. I haven't really able to connect with him in quite some time, but I do still think like and hope that he's doing well. I mean, he seems to be doing all right, but just the difficulties that we're not privy to see, and just knowing who he was and wanting to fight for others, and he would cut off an arm if it saved somebody else. You know what I mean? So it's just, I can't imagine what that's like going through that. I'm not in that scenario, or never, nor have I ever been. But it's just difficult, like feeling undeserving, but still wanting stuff for yourself because you feel like you've brought so many others up and like they're used to that level. So yeah, it's just a really difficult dynamic, especially the self-sacrificing point. I've worked with a lot of people who feel the need to do that. And although it can be kind of nice intentions, but it's difficult. The intentions come from a warm place. Let me say that. It comes from a place of protection, but the action itself is not good for you or others because it doesn't allow you to continue to be there. If you're self-sacrificing, if you're figuratively cutting off body parts to kind of save others, eventually you'll run out. You won't be there, and then that person, that entity that's supposed to be helping others and providing for others will no longer be there. It's kind of goes back to a therapeutic concept of filling your cup. And typically as humans, we all pour into each other's cups and try to uplift each other when we can. But if you're constantly filling other people's cups and not taking the time to refill yours, you're going to run out. And then you can't fill anybody's cup. So it's like, that's when like you talk about burnout and all those kind of things. So it's really important to kind of just reflect on those key components when you're doing this and when you're dealing with individuals who are self-sacrificing. And it's hard. It's a hard one for sure. For any young new therapist kind of coming into the scene, just be aware of that and look for those themes too when people are living for other people.
It could be just coincidence or maybe fate planned it. The house that I moved into with my money from Atlantic was my dream house, till I realized where I got the dream from. It looked exactly like my best friend's house in 7th grade, the same house I used to steal from. When he was out of town, I used to break it with my older friend and look around and take anything of value that I saw. The most ironic part about it all is that the kid who lived there wasn't just a friend. He was the only kid who convinced me to put my music on the internet. Without him, I never would be on these steps. Now this house is just a stark reminder of the bad friend I've always been. Liar that I've always been. Cheater and deceiver still. Lucky motherfucker, but know how to play the victim still. They tell me I fell off and fans defend me. Nah, it's okay. I promise I'm not even supposed to be here in the first place.
Okay, so I think the theme of this song was just reflection across the board. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I love how he brought up the idea of his dream house, and he didn't realize it until he thought about it more. Again, that reflecting dynamic, that thing going on. And he recognized that the house, that his dream house, was the house that he used to break into, that was his best friend's. And I'm so curious to see how this confliction going on, like, in him, of wanting to live in this one spot, because I wonder if it represents like a time period in his life where not almost sense of familiarity or nostalgia, and even though he's using it kind of against him, and in a way that's like, oh, it reminds me of the bad friend I used to be, it reminds me of the thing, it's still a time where he feels familiar, and that's kind of what he was. And like, I wonder if there's that familiarity aspect that's playing a role in him wanting to be in that house, because again, it's connected to that core memory of the individual who made him feel the confidence to put his music on the internet and become who he wants. So it's like almost like him subconsciously wanting to go back to his roots, but remembering and reflecting on just the not cool things that he did, and it's just almost like he's punishing himself. Like, again, that feeling of I'm not supposed to be here, I'm undeserving, I need to do this, I need to feel like shit, I need to feel not good about where I'm at, because I mean, there's a lot of components, a lot of conflictions going on. If Token was doing therapy with somebody, I'd really be curious if the therapist was doing some parts work, some IFS, just because there seems to be a lot of conflictions going on. I want to be confident, I want to be me, I don't feel like I should be here. There's two different things going on at one time, and they're clashing on the inside, and that's IFS work to a T, and it can be really healing. It's one of my favorite approaches to utilizing therapy, and that's something I've done trainings in, I have read so many books in. It's a phenomenal therapeutic technique that not a lot of people do. It's becoming more popular, but again, it's just not nearly as popular as some of the other ones. But I think it's going to be pretty big in the next few years, just because of the importance of it. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of this song. I like it. I like the reflection of it. I think it's a really cool concept. It talks about some subconscious and conscious thought processes, core memories, and really deep dynamics of like who I'm supposed to be, individuality, as well as like self-sacrificing, which is so big and so common nowadays. Typically, I see a lot of people living for other people, and it's hard to get back to living for yourself, but you are deserving of it, and it's important to live for yourself in a productive way. And yeah, so make sure you give this video a like, and make sure you're subscribed. We are killing it. You guys have done it. You guys got me to 1,000. We are officially monetized, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next video.